Tutors Day and to celebrate your lovely selves. So we're here and hoping that you'll enjoy us for a little cheeky tea break with me and Beth.
Hello and happy World Tutors Day. So as Susie said, we're here today celebrating yourselves and all of the wonderful things that tutors are doing, not just on World Tutors Day, but every single day. And it's so important that you take that time to reflect yourself and realise what an amazing job you're doing. So pop the kettle on. We're going to be here for about 10 minutes. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's have a catch up. So World Tutors Day has been around for a few years now, and it's super important to us at Twinkl to be involved to make sure that tutors are getting that recognition they deserve. So whether you're working with young children right at the start of their education journey, or children that are, going on to A-levels, or adults that are learning, you are having an impact on somebody's life. And lots of people that you speak to who have had a tutor, they do remember that time they've spent with them. And we've had some really lovely shares from people in our communities of the lovely things that their students and their family members have said to them. So you can see some of those going around on the screen now, just these really lovely comments that we're getting. And it's so lovely that you're taking the time to take those on board as well, because it's so easy to brush any feedback under the carpet and get a bit embarrassed about it. But we're here today to sing your praises and shout about all of the amazing things that you're doing. So raising the profile of tutors is super important to us. We see the difference you're making, and so do the families you're working with. So many different activities, so much flexibility and freedom. And I know for me as a tutor, that was one of the most rewarding things, is being able to work in the way that works for your students and seeing that moment where everything comes together and it all clicks into place and they're just so happy that they got to where they wanted to get. How about you, Susie? Have you got any of those standout moments?
I think it's so nice to take this moment and reflect, like you said, Beth. I think it's really important because sometimes, like you say, as tutors, you can kind of shy away from it. But yeah, here to bang the drum, ring the bell for tutors. I think for me, it would be quite a recent one. One of my lovely students, they writing, I knew that they were kind of a good writer, but I think they had their confidence knocked a little bit as they've moved up into kind of upper key stage 2. So then just seeing that confidence blossom and finding out what they were really interested in. And it's things like you'll hear all the time, especially for anyone, who follows us in our Facebook group or Instagram and things like that. But it truly is like the little golden key. And then when you help to unravel that, and then everything starts to click into place, it's just the best feeling because they're just so happy. They're just so happy, and that's what learning should be. It should bring happiness. It can be tricky, as a caveat, as we all know,
Yes.
but it should bring happiness. Absolutely, yeah.
And they're some of the most rewarding moments as well, aren't they? I think we've all had those students who they don't want to work with you. They don't want a tutor. They don't enjoy school. They don't want to be there. And the worst thing they could possibly think of is coming and sitting and working with you after school or on a Saturday morning. They don't want to be there. But over the weeks when you see their wall coming down and you think, actually, or they let slip that actually they really enjoyed something that you've just done. And you think, you've said it now, I've heard you. And those relationships that you get to have with the children, and not just the children, but their families as well. Back before COVID, I was tutoring in a family's home, and Mum used to make croissants every Saturday morning, and we all used to have a croissant together, which was really lovely. And that's their little way of saying thank you, isn't it? And I think it's so easy because we love what we do and we become part of that family. But those little thank yous, those little victories along the way, they all make it such an amazing, such a wonderful job. So really take that time today on World Tutors Day, but every day as well, to reflect on how great you are and the difference you're having. Sometimes, you have that difficult day, you have that student that doesn't want to learn, or maybe it's you're tired, you've had a long week, and you just think, I really don't want to go out in the rain in the middle of December, this session. But actually, that's when some of those most magical moments happen. And we want to say thank you. Thank you for turning out in the rain. Thank you for sitting in the traffic to get to a student's house. Thank you for dealing with Wi-Fi issues and sorting your internet when you've got those online sessions, or any other tech issues that you or your students are encountering. Thank you for all of that work you do behind the scenes. We know that it's not just the 45 minutes or the hour that you're sat with that child tutoring them. You're putting so much into everything you do with these children, and it's really important for you to take that time to realise how much you do. So from myself and from Susie and from the whole team at Twinkl, thank you so much for all of the amazing work that you're doing as tutors. So one thing that we would like to share before we wrap up and leave you to get on with your day is a lovely quote that we've had shared with us from someone that's worked with tutors closely. And they've told us that they had the privilege of working alongside some brilliant tutors when they worked in an alternative provision. The tutors offered safe learning spaces for many children and young people who hadn't stepped foot out of their door, let alone into school. Their knowledge, passion, and patience was incredible. And I think this is something that we can apply to all tutors. The knowledge you have, the passion you show in the work you do, and the patience you have with students, even those that are super keen to learn and wanting that next thing. There are so many words we could use to describe tutors. Resilience. You never know what you're going to come up against, and when you've planned that amazing perfect session and it's just not what your student wants to do, that
out of the window.
And it's always when you've got the best session prepared that you're so excited about that they're just not interested. But there are so many things you're doing. There are so many wonderful words we could use to describe you all, and we'd love for you to share words that you'd use to describe yourself as a tutor. You're wearing lots of different hats, and we don't want to hear anyone refer to themselves as just a tutor. There is no such thing as just a tutor. You make a difference, you have an impact, and you are amazing. So from us, please keep doing what you're doing. Please keep supporting those children, making a difference, but make sure you take some time for yourself today as well. So it's World Tutors Day. Carve a bit of time out, whether it's having a cup of tea, going for a walk, or just taking 5 minutes to relax and reflect. Today is all about you. We will be continuing to celebrate you, not only today, but all year round in our social media communities. So come and join us. And we've also shared lots of lovely ways you could get involved today and think about, how great you are. It feels difficult to do, but take a moment for yourself and give yourself a pat on the back. So thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful World Tutors Day, and we'll catch up with you soon. See you later.